Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Hearthstone. So, when I did my 400 sub arena celebration, that was just sort of a fun thing, I mentioned while I was doing my draft that if anybody wanted to see me do a serious arena run, a serious draft, to let me know, and I would be more than happy to do that. Well, it seems like several of you want me to do that. Based on the comments on that video and a couple of inboxes and some other things like that, I get the sense that you guys would enjoy seeing a legitimate arena run. So I'm going to do that, and so we're going to hop in here, and I'll spend a good deal of time talking about the draft and my why I'm making my choices, and then we'll go from there. So, what do we have? So we have Rexxar, we have the Hunter, the Warrior, and the Shaman, essentially. So all of these are middling picks. Some of the people who rank arena heroes, that sort of thing, they generally put Shaman on top of either of these two, and then usually it's a toss-up. Garrosh is almost entirely dependent upon having weapons, essentially. Weapons equal wins. And for Rexxar, essentially if you have Unleash the Hounds, you're doing okay. Thrall has a lot of good value cards and is generally... he's more consistent than the others. Now, I maintain entirely that it doesn't matter what hero you pick. If you know what you're doing with the draft and you are a good player, then you can do well with any hero. So, I'm just going to arbitrarily pick here. Well, one of my favorite classes has always been the Shaman, but I really like the other two as well, so this is a really hard choice. But I think we're going to try to go for Rexxar this time.
Let the hunt begin.
There's no particular reason for this. I just figured it would be a good place to start. Oh, wow. And we start with a legendary pick. And a really hard one, too. So, Tinkmaster Overspark is not going to be the good choice here. He got nerfed into Oblivion, so he's not good here either. Hogger is not bad. He's quite good. And the Beast is really interesting. So, the Beast is interesting because he is a beast and has beast synergy with the Hunter, but summoning a 3/3 for your opponent when he dies is pretty scary, especially because it's not outside of the realm possibility that he can die, right? 7 health is not terrible to chew through if you're really concerted about it. So this is a really tough pick. See, a pick like this would be easier if you had the rest of your decks for context, and just to see sort of... whether you needed more taunts, for instance, you would take Hogger, or whether you didn't, then you would probably take the Beast. I think that because it is a Beast, and because it is a very good, powerful 6-drop, I think that we're going to give this one a shot. I think it's the strongest one out of this particular cohort. And we come into a very good second pick. So all of these are certainly acceptable, but Unleash the Hounds, I think, is certainly... the strongest here. It's the one that's going to actually cause the most as far as sort of utility and wins. It has the best combo ability with anything, and it's just a great hunter card in general. If I wasn't going to pick Unleash the Hounds, we'd pick Spellbreaker. Windfury Harpy usually is... it has too little health for a 6-drop. 5 is not a very good deal, even though the damage potential is high, if it lives. Okay, for this one, we are not going to take the Young Dragonhawk. It's a really bad card. And we're probably not going to take Scavenging Hyena either. It is a beast, and it has good synergy with Unleash the Hounds, but I think Deadly Shot is too valuable here to give up. Deadly Shot is just an excellent, excellent removal spell, so I think it's worth it. Okay, so we're not going to take the Cold Light Seer, because we are not running a Murloc deck. The Abomination is a good card, good for taunting, and good for dealing with sort of rush plays, and Misdirection is a really great hunter card in general, especially when you are behind and playing a more controlling deck. Now, this is the other thing, by the way, to pay attention to when we're doing drafts. So, there are all sorts of arena rankings out there. So Trump's arena ranking is a really good one. There are other ones too. All of them are good. And in this instance, I'm not sure which one they would tell me to pick, but it's important to understand they are guidelines, and they don't take into account what the rest of your deck is doing. Right now, based on these 3 cards, we don't really have much either, but this looks like it's becoming a control deck more than anything else, just because of the Deadly Shot and the late game focus. And Unleash the Hounds is good either way. So, you want to build towards an archetype. Having a rush deck is fine, it's quite effective. Having a control deck is effective too, but it's usually not good to just pick cards in a complete vacuum. You want to actually build towards a goal. So I think we're going to try to go towards a sort of a beast synergy control hunter sort of thing, insofar as we can. Control more than rush. And any beasts, of course, would just be gravy. So if that's the case, Abomination and Misdirection are strong, but I think we're going to take the Misdirection instead. So this is a good, well, it's not actually. I don't know why I was about to say it was good. This is actually really quite a bad pick. Great for Murlocs, great for Pirates, but both are useless to us. And so really, I think we have to take Bestial Wrath here, even though there's nothing good about this. I'm almost tempted to pick one of these things because it's a 3/3 for 3. And Bestial Wrath is not the greatest thing in the world, but I can see that there might be, and this is really very niche, but I can see that there might be some synergy with the Beast and Bestial Wrath, simply because we can give it immune and prevent them from getting a 3/3 Finkeline Horn. So, let's do it. I don't like that pick, though. It seems like I have all the right options here to make a Murloc deck, but that's basically never advisable with an arena. So here, between the Rhino and the Cult Master, it's a bit of a toss-up. We need mid-range cards, so we need a 4 and a 5. Cult Master has good synergy with Unleash the Hounds, which I like. Tundra Rhino is a beast that has good synergy with beasts. So I think here we're going to go with probably the Cult Master. The Tundra Rhino is a good card. In fact, you know what? No, I am going to go with the Tundra Rhino now that I think of this. Either one of these could be acceptable, but I said earlier that I want to go towards a Hunter Control and Beast Synergy sort of deck. And right now we have a great Beast Synergy options, and so I want to make the cards that we've already picked for that even more valuable. So we're going to go for the Tundra Rhino. Okay, so here, the Razorfen Hunter versus the Freezing Trap. Elven Archer is not bad, but usually it's sort of the best of a bad situation. Razorfen is good for a 3-drop, and we do need a 3-drop pretty badly. Freezing Trap is not bad, but it tends to be the worst of the traps, so I think we are going to pick the Razorfen Hunter here. Starving Buzzard is excellent in synergy with Unleash the Hounds, and if we're building a beast deck, we basically should have it, so that's excellent. Okay, so Frostwolf Warlord is really nice, particularly with Unleash the Hounds. Kill Command is excellent, and another Unleash the Hounds is also excellent. So this is a tough pick. I like Kill Command, especially if we want to go for the control aspect, but Unleash the Hounds is so good. I think we're going to go for the other Unleash the Hounds. There's no good answer to this, but I think that's what we're going to pick. Okay, in this case, we don't have... How many spells do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we actually have 3 spells at this moment, and we're not even 10 cards in. So the Auctioneer is more viable than he normally would be for an arena deck. The Wild Pyro, I don't think I like very much in this circumstance. So I think it's between Auctioneer and Misdirection. We have a 5-drop already. Misdirection would be good for another trap, and so if we happen to come across the Eaglehorn Bow that's strong, if we want to keep this whole controlling thing, the Auctioneer is good, but we already have really strong card draw in the form of Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hound, so I think we're going to go Misdirection. Here we're going to take the Beastmaster, because right now we're looking sort of light on minions for where I would like to be at this point. And with something like the Beast, this could become an 11-9. And we have the Rhino, and we have the Hounds. We have... Most of our minions are actually beasts right now, so I think this is a very strong option, and a good minion in its own right. So the Bluegill Warrior is great. The Frostwolf Grunt is a really generally not worth it card. 2/2 for 2 is just not where it's at. The Dark Iron Dwarf is an exceptional card. And right now, I don't have many early game creatures, because Unleash the Hounds is hardly a creature, and Starving Buzzard is hardly a creature, because both of them you tend to play on turn 4 and 5. So I like this quite a bit, but I also really like the Dark Iron Dwarf, and I think I have to keep it. Okay, I think we might have to do another Unleash the Hounds here. Acolyte of Pain, we already have card draw mechanics, and we don't have a lot of consistent ways to do damage to it ourselves. And Freezing Trap, like I said, is the worst among the traps, so I don't usually tend to pick it. So it's got to be another Unleash the Hounds. It makes me regret my previous decision with the kill command, but that's okay. In this instance, we're going to take the Worgen Infiltrator. It has basically got a guaranteed shot, even against classes like mages and rogues and druids, to do its 2 damage. And it's a great 1-drop. Dalaran Mage is not worth it, especially not for a hunter. And Elven Archer is not bad, but Worgen Infiltrator I think is better. Animal Companion is a phenomenal card for hunters. This is pretty much a no-brainer. The Goldshire Footman is just a bad card, generally. The 1/2 taunt is not worth the card. It is useful for precisely 1 turn, and past that, it just is a dead card. The Warlord's really good, but we need 3 drops, and Animal Companion is just much better. And we're going to take a second Animal Companion here. Darkscale Healer is good. Multi-shot is not a bad removal, although it usually is overkill. So Animal Companion is better here. Okay, so Timberwolf would complete the Unleash the Hounds combo. Jungle Panther, though, is a really excellent 3-drop, and I like really excellent 3-drops. The Fairy Dragon is also a good choice here, but because we have so much beast synergy already, I think we need to take one of these. And so I think we're going to go for the Jungle Panther. Okay, here card draw is really strong. I like this, and we're short on 4 drops. In fact, we only have, well, we have 2. Raging Worgen is good, but again, we don't have a means by which to enrage him. And the Worgen Infiltrator is also quite good. I think we're going to take the Gnomish Inventor, though, for the unconditional card draw. Because we do have card draw, but it is very much conditional. It is contingent upon us using that combo. Okay, so Tracking is good, Starving Buzzard is good, and Snipe is less good. So I think in this instance, I think we're going to go for Tracking. That's a hard call between these two. You don't need to load up on Starving Buzzards, you really don't. And Tracking is great for early game, and even for late game, it lets you set up combos. It is important, for the record, to have card draw in Arena. It very much is. A lot of the time you're going to have less value in Arena decks than you would have in your constructed deck, and so it's very important to be able to get as much of it out as possible and to play, to have access to all of it for the best plays that you can. Okay, so between Sunfury and Imp Master and Flare. So we're looking fairly strong on 3 drops now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not bad. We have no 2 drops. So the Sunfury Protector is intriguing for that. Flare is also good for emergencies, but also for card draw. This is a tough choice, because I don't really have very much to taunt up. I don't have any big fat minions, except perhaps the Gnomish Inventor and things like the Tundra Rhino or the Beast. But I think I am going to take this. Okay, we have the Arcane Golem, which is very good for rushing, but that we're not really rushing. The Imp Master is good for getting things on the table, which is nice. And the Crazed Alchemist is sort of a weird situational thing. It'd be neat to play in conjunction with the Tundra Rhino, to have a cheap 5/2 charge. I think that simply because we have very few 2 drops, we're going to take the Crazed Alchemist. Even though this is a tough decision. This would be a no-brainer if we were doing a rush deck, but we're not. Okay, Harvest Golem and Wolf Rider. Harvest Golem is just a really, really good value 3, and I like it quite a bit. I would take it over the Wolf Rider in this instance. The Scavenging Hyena is increasingly stronger as I have more and more beasts on the table. And so I think that I'm actually going to take this for the Mad Beast synergy. Also, again, not a lot of 2s. I don't think I can justify another Unleash the Hounds. It's a good card, but it's dependent upon your enemy having a lot of things on the table. And if they don't, then it's not going to do well. So I think 3 is sufficient. Instead, I'm going to take the Spellbreaker because our late game is lacking quite a bit. If we're going to do something that is controlling, which right now we're in a weird place because we have a good representative of 3s and we're starting to get a good representative of 2s. But you look at the curve and you just don't have a late game. And arena decks really do need a late game. So we're going to take the Spellbreaker here. The other thing that's great about the Spellbreaker, by the way, for us, is that if we don't have something on the enemy side to Spellbreak, we could put down the Beast and Spellbreak it, and suddenly it's just a 9/7 Beast for 6, which is just a great deal. So here we have Taunts and Traps. So the Mogashan Warden is not a great card because even though it has 7 health and it slows things down, it's not ever really going to trade up. It's not ever really going to trade very well, ever. The Tauren Warrior is similarly the same sort of thing. It basically will never get a chance to enrage. A 2/3 for 3 is pretty weak, even though it has an okay effect. But I also don't really feel like taking Freezing Trap. This is a toss-up. I think we are going to take the Freezing Trap here, because out of everything, I think it just makes the most sense. We have a bunch of strong 3s, and we have a bunch of strong 3s. We have 4, so maybe this is not a bad idea, after all. The Mogashan Warden is just a delay card, albeit a good one, and I only have 4 4s. Okay. Once again, another Unleash the Hounds. What we're going to do here, though, is we're going to do the... it's between the Frostwolf and the Frost Elemental. We don't have very much late game, and I think for this deck, what with the Unleash the Hounds and everything, I think we're going to need to take the Frostwolf Warlord. A lot of potential for that to be good. We don't have any weapons, so this is less desirable. The Ancient Brewmaster is a good card. It's a reverse Yeti with the neat side effect of having being able to pick back up, say, my Houndmaster, or something to that effect, and actually giving us even a better chance at getting all of the value out of it. Arcane Shot's also good. It's an honorable mention, but I think that Ancient Brewmaster is the pick here. Stone Tusk Boar is an okay beast, and Argent Squire is a good 1-drop. If I had a kill command in the deck, I think I would take the Boar, because it would allow me to drop something very quickly and have it do 5 damage if my board was clean. But as it stands, I think that I have to take the Spellbreaker here. Okay, here we're going to take the Shattered Sun Cleric. Although the Darkscale Healer is also appealing because it's a 5. We have a very strong early mid-game, and I don't think we need more 3s. So we're going to end up getting the Darkscale Healer here. Okay, so we have the Sunfury Protector, which is cool. So maybe we should take the Ancient Watcher. We also have 2 Spellbreakers, which means we can silence it. This is a very, very strange thing to put in an arena deck, but compared to my other choices, Alarmabot is just not something you ever take. Pint-Sized Summoner is okay. First minion you play is a 1 less per turn. It's a 2/2 for 2, which is not desirable. It's between these two. An Ancient Watcher, it's a very specific combo card, and it's weird. But the thing is, and this is one of those cards that you get told to never take. But I have a Sunfury Protector, and I have 2 silences. And so I think I actually am going to take it, and hope that it's not a dead card. And here I have another chance at another Sunfury Protector, but I'm actually going to take Explosive Shot. It's a late game thing. It's not a minion, but it is a late game 5-drop control card. And I think that's just something that's very necessary at this point. We're going to be playing an interesting game. We have a lot of early mid-game, so we can put out a lot of aggression, but we also have a number of controlling cards in here as well. So it's a bit of a hybrid, which is not usually what you want to go for, but I think that this is probably the strongest choice out of these. We're certainly not taking an Alarmabot. So it's between the Explosive Shot and the Sun Fury, and I think we have to do Explosive. Okay, so let's have a look at this deck. I am not entirely happy with it. It has a lot of good beast synergy. If we're looking at beasts, we have the Worgen's on a beast. We have many Unleash the Hounds. We have the Hyena, we have the Buzzard, we have 2 animal companions, a Panther, the Boar from the Razorfen Hunter. We have the Houndmaster for beast synergy as far as giving those beasts taunt. We have Tundra Rhino, and we have the Beast, which is, of course, well, he is the Beast. So we have a lot of beast synergy. In and around that, we also have some early game taunt and early game rush defense, which is something that is very strange. We also have a number of filler cards that are just sort of good value. We have the Dark Iron Dwarf and the Ancient Brewmaster, which I like. The Gnomish Inventor is quite good as well. 2 Spellbreakers, which we can use to activate our own cards or help us with the Beast, which is cool. But of course, more importantly, we can also use it to take out taunts and nasty effects on our opponent's side. We have a number of traps. We also have Explosive Shot and a couple of interesting choices for card draw up front as well. So, it's an interesting deck. I don't know how it's going to do, but I think it'll do middlingly well. Usually for me, I go anywhere from between 4 or 5 on a bad day to 8 or 9 on a good day for arena runs generally. So hopefully it'll be somewhere in that band, and it won't die out immediately. Maybe it'll be a surprise. We'll have to. The thing with all arena decks is that you have to actually try them out. So why don't we do that?
Rexa versus Valera.
Okay, so our first match is up against a rogue, and we have.
Let the hunt begin.
Well, that's an opening hand, isn't it? We're not going to keep duplicates. I like having the Animal Companion because it's very nice to coin out. I sort of don't think we're going to need the Unleash the Hounds right away, so I think we're going to put it back. Yeah, let's just go with this and see what we have. We have a lot of early game, frankly, so I'm not scared about having a good mulligan. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, first turn Worgen Infiltrator. Oh man. Gee, I hope they put out a lot of minions. So we're going to do this. Nice early first turn, and then next turn we will coin out, I guess, an Animal Companion.
I hope you like my invention.
Okay. Perfect. So we have the Rush minion. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to push here. There's not a lot that she can do about this on turn 3. She can backstab and then trade, I suppose. But that's a pretty great way to open up, I think.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay. It's easy enough. We have another Animal Companion, which we're going to use. I would have used the Razorfen Hunter, but I like this too much. Even better.
What you want?
Okay, we have one of the cards that presumably he had 2 other very bad picks from, because you should not usually pick that in a draft. But he has a way to get rid of my Misha, so that's fine. And to his credit, I have to kill my thing to get through there. It would be ridiculous to use 2 Unleash the Hounds to kill that, so I'm not going to. I could instead use the Razorfen, but I think we're going to be mana efficient here. Yep, I'm not going to attack with that, because instead I'll make her attack me.
For the king.
Fair enough. So, we have a number of options here. Scavenging Hyena and Unleash the Hounds is certainly one, because we can suicide at least one of them nice and easily. Yeah, that's not a bad idea even, and then it's not mana efficient. What would be mana efficient is the Scavenging Hyena and the Jungle Panther? No, you know what? We are going to do the original plan, and the reason being that the Stormwind Knight will kill the Scavenging Hyena if I don't get something out on the table immediately.
Hey, give me a minute.
Now this turn could be the Beast. It could also be the Jungle Panther, and it could also be Razorfen. So, like, as in both together. We have a number of options here.
Locked and loaded.
Okay, so I'll take out the Hound and pump up my Scavenging Hyena.
Yeah, beat it.
Okay, so the plan has changed. We are going to, instead of doing what I was going to do, Unleash the Hounds. And probably the Jungle Panther with that. It's inefficient. I could do Misdirection and the Hero Power. But I think I would prefer to have more creatures because she doesn't seem to be able to take care of it.
I wonder.
Hey, give me a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, that certainly makes it easier. But, yeah, okay, perfect. Perfect. So, that was actually a fairly commanding first game, to be honest. We really did. So, you know, I misread this just a second ago when I was saying that it's more of a control deck. I mean, look at this curve. We have a lot of weight on the early game. We have more controlling elements, but we have a lot of weight on the early game. So I think it's actually going to be played more aggressively than not, even though we do have some control going on. Well, whatever the case, that was really cool. So let's keep going. Okay, so here we're going up against a Warlock,
Your soul shall be mine.
and we are going to have none of these cards in our hand. We'll keep the Warrior. Okay, well, we have both parts of the Unleash the Hounds combo in our hand. Okay, so we're not going to do anything, actually, this turn. Next turn we can coin out the Warrior, which I think is the ideal plan.
I greet you. Greetings, traveler.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of better options here. I mean, I could just steady shot him in the face, but the downside, of course, is that the Warrior then would trade down. It'd be 2 mana for 3 mana. And I don't have a follow-up play on turn 3 that's not awkward. So, you know, actually, in retrospect, we are going to just steady shot here. If I had had, like, a Razorfen Hunter in my hand as well, I may have coined out one of them. But I have a couple of 4s, and I have a 5, but I don't have a 3, so I should wait. Okay. Well, the Jungle Panther is really nice. So maybe the thing to do here, actually, would be to put out the Jungle Panther, and then next turn coin out an Explosive Shot on his board. It'd be a nice early control thing. So maybe I will do that. Summoning Portal. That's another card you don't tend to see very often in Arena. Okay, so I could Unleash the Hounds here. I'm not in a position, though, of needing a lot of cards. If I did that, I would get 3 cards for 2. So, I mean, it would be good. It would be nice for card cycle, I suppose. The only problem with that is it doesn't get a lot done. It would kill the Fairy Dragon, and then the Panther would kill the Summoning Portal, so I suppose that's not so bad. Yeah, you know, let's do that, actually. So Buzzard first, and Unleash the Hounds. 3 cards. Okay, perfect. Animal Companion's great. Okay, cool. So we'll do this. And, I guess we'll do this too, although he's probably going to take out the Panther with it, so that would make that damage irrelevant.
Quickly.
So we're just going to hit the face. He can take out the Buzzard for free this way, but either way, the dog can get him. Yeah, fair enough. To be honest, that was sort of silly. I guess he doesn't want me getting more cards. Okay, Flame Imp.
Mind if I roll need?
So this is where Explosive Shot might be useful. It would wipe his board and I could use the dog to get rid of the Harvest Goal. And that's 1 card for the cost of 3 cards. And if we tally up the mana, it's actually mana positive because 3 and 1 and 2 is 6. So I am actually going to do that. How many cards do I have in my hand? Yeah, okay. We're good for 1 more turn and then I have to spend a bunch.
To Northrend!
Okay, Argent Commander. He didn't attack with it. Wow. Alright. That's just a misplay. There is no reason for that. So we have 6 mana to play with. I think Animal Companion and Razorfen Hunter are strong options. We could also do Animal Companion and then coin out a Spellbreaker to get the Divine Shield off of him. Let's do the Animal Companion. Okay. And, let's see, this is just against the hero. Let's actually put up a taunt, of all things. That will sort of foil his Divine Shield a little bit. Okay, he's going to kill the taunt that way and lose a card. Actually 2 cards if you want to put it that way.
It's time for a little blood.
So, there's another Unleash the Hounds with Leok up, which is pretty nice. Let's actually see if we have lethal here, because the Dark Iron Dwarf would make him into 4, and then he will make these guys in 2, so that'd be 10, so that's not quite enough, and I could coin out a Steady Shot, and it's not enough. It is very close, though. He doesn't have enough damage to kill me. He only has 11, and I'm presuming he doesn't have the rest in his hand. So I am actually going to put him right next to lethal.
You go far away.
And I will coin out this because there's not going to be a lot of use for the coin coming up. Okay, Siphon Soul on the Dark Iron Dwarf. Okay, so I think the fairly obvious play here is to misdirect. The other thing is Tundra Rhino plus, I believe, I'm 90% sure the Razorfen, the boar that the Razorfen spawns is a beast, but it's actually irrelevant because we're going to do this instead. Rhino and Crazed Alchemist.
Well played.
Okay, so there we go. So that was also a fairly compelling victory. You know, I was sort of unsure about this deck when I looked at it, but I actually am feeling pretty good about it now. It has some weirdnesses in it, like it's got the Sun Fury Ancient Watcher combo, even though it is also very weighted to the low game, to the early game, but still, it's looking pretty strong. So let's keep going. Okay, we have yet another rogue.
Watch your back.
Let's the
I do love the opening turns on this hunter. I think that I might even just keep this hand, although I won't. I'm going to put back the hounds. The hyena is usually not a card you want to play early. Yeah, so I'm actually going to get rid of him. I'm just going to keep the animal companion. Yep, okay, fair enough. Leper Gnome. Alright. It'd be a waste of misdirection, but misdirection would be fun to play here. Might be fun to play misdirection now, but it's not going to be mana efficient, and I really don't like that on turn 3 when I have so many 3s. I think we're going to do Animal Companion here and hope that it is Misha. The other option would be Razorfen Hunter, which might be better. It would also trade just fine with these, so I think I am going to do that and eliminate the possibilities of chance.
Do you need a blessing?
Okay, perfect. I think this is actually going to be, this is going to be Misdirection and Steady Shot. My only other options are buff cards or mana inefficiency, so that is what we're going to do. My hope is that the Young Priestess hits the Direwolf, or vice versa. They attack each other essentially, and it gets misdirected. If the Young Priestess hits into Valera too, that's fine, because with the weapon out, it'll do the damage. Yep, that's fine. Still kills it and does damage to her. Yep, fun fact about Misdirection, if the enemy hero has a minion out, or has a weapon out rather, it counts. When it's up like this, damage against it does count, which is why it closes off during the enemy hero's turn. So this turn I think we're going to Animal Companion. And I could just rush, but I don't think I should. If I put out the Scavenging Hyena, it would be a 4-3 if I were to kill the Direwolf. The Crazed Alchemist isn't really going to help me here, so I think I might actually, well, I will do that. It seems weird, but not bad. It's going to be a Backstab? Yep. Backstab and daggers. Or an Eviscerate or something. Oh, a Shiv. Wow. Okay. Okay, so at 6 we have choices. We could put down a Misdirection and an Ancient Brewmaster. We missed the pickup ability, but that's nice. We could also not put down a Misdirection and use the Steady Shot, which might be the better choice. I would like to keep the Dark Iron Dwarf, so I think we will do exactly that. If I'd used the Alchemist there, I could have had a Yeti, but so be it. I think the 5-4 is good in this board position.
Are you ready for this?
Okay, an Archmage. Alright. We could use the Crazed Alchemist on the Archmage, and we could kill it with the Ancient Brewmaster. We could also buff the Ancient Brewmaster with the Dark Iron Dwarf. It would actually have no difference. Both of them would die either way. Instead, I'm thinking of Misdirection. I'm gonna do Tracking though, I think. Either way. Okay, so I don't have any beasts in hand. The Explosive Shot is nice control, so I think I have to do the Rhino because this isn't gonna help. Although then again, if I draw, how many cards do I have? I have 17 left. The overwhelming likelihood is the rest of my cards are more majority beast, so I am gonna take this. That's not going to help me this turn, though. So yeah, this turn we're going to Misdirection, Dark Iron Dwarf, and hit her, not the Archmage. In retrospect, perhaps I should have hit the Archmage, but she is at low health now, and maybe we can do something quick. Having the Hunter with Steady Shot means that you can put a lot of pressure on in the arena and have it be successful. Oh wow, Miracle Rogue over here. It's like we're playing Constructed. Wow. Wow. That was a very good turn. So we have, I think what we're going to do here is put down the Gnomish Inventor, and maybe, so Gnomish Inventor for sure, because we want cards. The Beast is a good thing to have brought up. I guess we're going to Crazed Alchemist the Archmage, although that's sort of weird. I don't like her having more spell power. I could also Crazed Alchemist my own Gnomish Inventor. In fact, yeah, let's do that, and then we'll steady shot.
I love my new recipe.
Wow, 2 betrayals in that draft. This is ridiculous. She has, the Gadgetzan Auctioneer is just so good for rogues. Wow, is this going to be the end here? She probably doesn't have killing power in her hand. Oh man, she actually might. Oh, she's going to use the daggers. Wow. Wow. Man, Gadgetzan... Whoa, okay. 3 eviscerates in 1 draft is hardly fair. That was good though. I wish I had more creatures in the early game. Okay, so up against a mage here.
You asked for it.
With a less than ideal mulligan, or less than ideal starting hand rather. We're going to drop both of the 4s, and I think we're going to keep the Razorfen Hunter. Okay, Unleash the Hounds is not great in the opening hand, neither is Explosive Shot, but at least we have some mid-game options. Okay, so nothing to do. Okay, well, we could do the Super Dennis play of Unleashing the Hounds, but I think we're not going to do that.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Alright. We'll answer this with a Razorfen Hunter, I suppose. We could do a tracking steady shot to get something underway a little bit better. I think I do want board presence, though.
Don't mess with custom.
Cone of Cold, of all things, right? One good play, I think, is going to be using the Ancient Brewmaster here. Yeah, and I think that's probably the strongest thing we can do. We could do tracking and something else, either steady shot or misdirection, but those are hardly worthwhile plays.
Put it on your tab.
Could have also silenced the Sorcerer's Apprentice, but I don't think that's worth it.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay, Knife Juggler.
Bring me steel.
Huh, a lot of buff cards. This is a remarkably good place for an Explosive Shot. Although I won't get the Master Swordsmith. It's also not bad for Unleash the Hounds. I don't have the other parts of my combo. I suppose what I could do is tracking to see if we could get the Starving Buzzard, but I think it's probably better in this circumstance just to do Explosive Shot and leave it at that.
I wonder.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do.
Another round?
The Swordsmith himself as a 1/1 is not useful,
Well played.
and mages don't have a lot of buff cards, so I'm not too worried about that.
Join.
Okay, he's just gonna suicide it in for a card, I guess. Oh, he's not. Okay, that's sort of silly. So, so this isn't ideal, but certainly one thing that we could do is Unleash the Hounds here and send both of them into the Cult Master. Certainly, though, before we do that, we're going to use tracking. We have lots of mana-efficient options to do 3 and 2, so I don't mind missing the 1 mana. Okay, I was sort of hoping for a Scavenging Hyena here, or a Buzzard, but I guess we'll go here for the Spellbreaker, and I will do Unleash, and we'll put out the I am not afraid of flame strikes, so we'll put out some more minions as well for when these two get traded away.
Another round.
Okay, we're gonna coin out the flame strike. Perfect. That's okay, we have plenty of creatures in hand. Okay, so we have plenty of creatures in hand, but none of them are especially satisfying to play. Certainly we're going to put the Worgen Infiltrator because there's never going to be a better time. I don't like just silencing the Swordsmith for nothing. I also don't like not giving a buff to something with the Dark Iron Dwarf, so I think we will do this, because, especially because we have the other one in hand. We weren't going to put out the misdirection there, by the way, because if he hits me with the 1-1, there's no point in doing a misdirect, especially when my side of the field is more loaded up. Because misdirection, of course, can misdirect to any other character, including your creatures, and their hero.
Your magic shall not.
Well, that was silly. There was no purpose in silencing that. Okay, let's see here. So an Unleash the Hounds is a pretty good option. I could also silence the Grizzly, but there's no point in that. Yeah, I think Unleash with a Dark Iron Dwarf and a SETI shot is a good thing to do here. Now the question is, what is the most efficient thing to Dark Iron Dwarf? And I think actually it's going to be one of the Hounds. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Do one of the Hounds. We will trade another one of our Hounds, and then we will trade the last two guys for the Spellbreaker. Just like that. Okay, Arcadius makes some sense.
What to do?
Okay, Frostbolt on, yep, Spellbreaker. The superfluously silenced Spellbreaker.
Wanna blow something up?
And a Mad Bomber. It's not bad Mad Bomber for her. Okay, so would have liked some beasts. There's no good play here. I think we are going to play the Misdirection. And we're certainly going to Steady Shot and hit. So the question is, which buff do we want to waste? And I think I want to keep the silence for emergencies, so we'll put out the Houndmaster, rather. Either way, the mage is on a timer. Unless she has a healing spell, then she has 2 turns to live because of the hero ability. Irrespective of that taunt.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Okay. Wow. Value arcane missiles. Which is to say, not even a little bit. Okay. That would have been nice. But in any case,
Your magic shall not.
there we go. So that's 3 wins.
Well played.
Alright, we have yet another mage.
You asked for it.
Let's the
Okay, so, let's see here. We're gonna keep the Jungle Panther, the rest can go away. You know, we've played, this is our 5th match, and we have still not yet encountered the Ancient Watcher Sun Fury combo in any of its forms, which is pretty impressive to me. But in any case, this will be a turn 3, or a turn 2 rather, Jungle Panther with the coin, assuming nothing else gets in the way. Okay, we have the Demolisher. The Panther is going to get its value today. Now what we could do, I suppose, is do the Bestial Wrath, but I find that to be completely superfluous. She'll get that with the hero ability, but that's actually not a problem, because it's already achieved its value. And it will deny her a good chunk of her 4th turn. Arcane missiles, yeah. Does she get lucky? No, she does not. Okay, so we're actually, that was quite fortunate on a couple of levels. We're actually going to pump up the boar.
Why?
Okay, so that makes some sense. See, even though the mage gets an easy kill there, it's good for us because that particular minion, in the form of this one, had already sort of achieved its value, right? We spent 3 mana, but we got full value out of this card and made the value of this one much higher. So I'm not displeased, especially because she blew most of her turn on a secret there. Now, so this could be a number of things. The correct way to check for this would be to hit her with the lowest value minion that I have, essentially. Now, give a beast 2+ attack and immune this turn. I wonder if Vaporize
My magic will tear you apart.
would get rid of that.
I'm sorry.
I think what we're going to do here is attack with the Houndmaster, actually. There's no, like, misdirection or anything. So if it's Vaporize, so be it. And it is Vaporize, okay. So I still have the taunt up, which is nice, and I still have the potential to buff it into something cool later. We're going to use the Gnomish Inventor to get a card here, even though it's mana inefficient. I don't have many better options. Perfect.
Quickly.
Now, next turn, depending on what she plays, the Beast is something that we could do. Now, the other thing we could do here is an Explosive Shot. Take out the Kodo and one of the taunts, and then take out the other one ourselves. That's not too bad of an option. It certainly gets the mana value of the Explosive Shot, and it makes this a lot less annoying. Yeah, let's go with that, and then maybe what we can do is put out the Tundra Rhino the following turn with a misdirection, and maybe allow the Beast to actually charge and hit for 9. That would be quite surprising if we can make that combo work. Perfect. So that's great because it means it isn't silencing the Tundra Rhino that we're about to play.
My eyes are open.
Okay, now they can both trade for the Tundra Rhino. So that's not the greatest thing. This would actually potentially be a good use of Bestial Wrath. It means that I can take out the Earthen Ring Farseer for free, and make it much more difficult to get rid of the Rhino. It would be mana inefficient yet again, but if it lives, I will hit her for 9 next turn with the Beast, and that would be pretty impressive, so I think we're going to do this. It's pretty rare that you have a good use of that card, of Bestial Wrath, that can sort of trade well, and I think that is one of the few times that I have seen it being used better. Do remember, though, that was a choice between a Murloc War Leader and a South Sea Pirate Captain, so I still take Bestial Wrath over any of those. Perfect. So that's wonderful. So we are going to put out the Beast, and we don't have enough to silence it this turn, but we will put out, I guess, a misdirection with it. The other thing is we could control here. We could take out the Water Elemental with the Beast. I think we certainly are going to take out the Owl. I think that's unnecessary, though. I think we're going to just use misdirection here, and go ahead. Water Elemental will freeze it, and probably she would do that anyway, so I'm not so concerned about that. She may well polymorph this. In retrospect, if I was going to redo that, I would actually have steady shotted there instead of using the misdirect. Because if she attacks my face now, there's a high probability that she'll hit one of my minions instead of herself. But if she hits the beast, it won't kill it, and it'll instead kill the water elemental. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So, I think here... okay, so we're actually going to play the Spellbreaker followed by the Frostwolf Warlord. The reason we're going to do that is that when you silence a frozen minion, it becomes unfrozen. And then we are going to use the Frostwolf Warlord to get our full value. And we get a concede. Okay, perfect. That was a good one. Oh, and I happened to get a quest for it too. Great.
Rexa versus Uther.
Okay, so we're up against the Paladin. First one in the draft so far. So we're not going to keep the Beast. And I guess we're not going to keep the Warrior either. It's just not a great card. That was one that I was very regretful to have in the draft. But I think that between the options I had, it was better. So not a great opening hand. Okay, so really not a great opening hand, but we do have the combo, so that's good. Paladins are quite likely to put out a lot of minions, and so the likelihood of getting a good, strong Unleash the Hounds combo against them is actually quite high.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, so we're gonna just do an animal companion here. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to worry about his board at the moment.
I wonder.
Coining out a Consecrate or a True Silver? Twilight Drake, okay, sure. A Spellbreaker would be nice if I were to top deck that. Okay, no such luck. If he is going to go for my face, I feel as though a Misdirection would not be bad. I could also do a Dark Iron Dwarf here, which would be nice if we were going to get into a race situation. And I'm actually okay with a race because I have the combo available and I can end the race whenever I like. So, I'm going to race him.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
He pulls the same trick as me, but he's actually going to clear. Okay, so he is not comfortable with the race.
Reporting for duty.
So Unleash is pretty attractive right now. I get 3 cards, and I kill 2 of his minions. Or just his Twilight Drake, but I think I would do the 2 of his minions. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. I think it's worth it. Oh, and we even play down the Worgen Infiltrator as well. It's a nice touch. It's unfortunate that we don't have enough mana for the Scavenging Hyena. We're actually going to hit the Twilight Drake because then it can trade with the Buzzard. Or rather, the Buzzard can trade with it. I think a Consecrate may well be incoming here, though, if he has one. That is the trick with Arena, of course, is the Consecration is not a guarantee. Instead, he got 2 Twilight Drakes. It's quite the draft. Okay, so Misdirection is going to be a strong option here because he seems to think that the face is where it's at. But I think even actually the stronger option may be Explosive Shot and then finish it off with a Worgen. Unfortunately, there's no mana efficient options here. I could do a Scavenging Hyena and Misdirection and a Steady Shot. I would then kill the Twilight Drake and get the 4/3. But I think actually the Explosive Shot is the better option.
I've got a huge.
Okay. Stormpike Commando, and that's it. Now, happily enough, we could actually put out the Tundra Rhino and kill that just trade with it right away. We could put out the Tundra Rhino and trade with it and then do a steady shot. The other thing that we could do is Tundra Rhino scavenging Hyena, which would also trade with it if he so decided to kill it. And I think of those options, that's probably better. Tracking is attractive, but I don't have anything that's mana efficient, so I think we are going to do that. And, you know, we are actually going to trade with it and make it into a 4-3. Of course, my beast didn't die, so of course it didn't make it into a 4-3. That was silly of me. But nonetheless, we still got rid of the threat and have both of our creatures alive. Next turn could very easily be a Frostwolf Warlord. The other thing is it could be a Darkscale Healer too, and it could heal up the Tundra Rhino. Okay, sure.
Ready to ride.
And will he trade? He will. So he's feeling quite threatened at the moment, it seems. He's playing much more conservatively than he opened with. And we happen to get Misha, which is wonderful. I am tempted to put out the Frostwolf Warlord, because even though it's not very advantageous, it is also, it'd be a 5/5 for 5, which is perfect. The other thing I could do is a misdirection, and a tracking, and a steady shot. And you know, I think with the board how it is, I think we are going to do that. We're going to definitely pick up the... well, you know, okay, so this is actually harder than it seems. So the Houndmaster could make Misha into a 6/6, which is nice, but the Beast is the Beast. So I think we will take him. We'll put down a misdirection, and we will put down a steady shot.
I wonder.
Okay. Generally not a card we pick in Arena for Paladins.
It's time for a little blood.
I think what I read there is that he was trying to play around a snipe. Okay. And humiliated Misha, alright. Okay, so Deadly Shot. So, I like Deadly Shot, and I could do the Beast in Deadly Shot. The unfortunate piece is that I can't trade well with Misha either way. I could Frostwolf Warlord and Steady Shot, but then there's no point. I think actually the Beast is the place to go. Hopefully, what we can do is we can Deadly Shot, or rather, yeah, we can Deadly Shot the Emperor Cobra. It's a 50-50, and maybe then we'll determine whether or not we play the Beast, but I don't see a way for him to get, well, I mean, there are ways for him to get through Misha and him to attack the Beast with it, so I'm not so convinced. Let's do this and see. Perfect. Okay, we're going to play the Beast. Next turn, obviously, will be the Darkscale Healer and the Frostwolf Warlord, in that order.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Okay, perfect. Takes out the taunt. He has 8 mana to play with.
Shields up.
Son of Fury Protector, alright.
What does the future
Thrallmar Farseer. Yeah, quality draft.
for duty?
Okay, so we're going to use Bestial Wrath here to get around the beast dying, essentially. He has nothing else on the table that can do significant damage to him. The unfortunate piece to this is that I really would enjoy using that to attack the hero, but I would also like to not give him a 3/3. So that'll take care of that, and we can use the Frostwolf Warlord here, I guess, because I would also like to heal him afterward. Now, he can trade all of these for it, and he may well to get the 3/3, but just in case he doesn't and goes for my face, I'm going to hold back the Darkscale Healer to heal him.
Job's done.
Of course, that makes some sense. Oh no, that's really too bad. If he'd hit the Abusive Sergeant there, that would have been really pivotal. At that point, it actually would have been probably an unambiguous victory.
Just me and Mr. Bitey.
Okay, so he is, in fact, he is going to take out my beast here.
Oh, I've been inside that thing for months.
Reporting for duty. Move quickly.
Yeah, Unleash the Hounds would be really good here. And we get it, which is great. So we're going to do a misdirection. Well, hang on. Yeah, we're going to do Unleash the Hounds to... well, I guess we're just going to do this and the Steady Shot. There's not a whole lot of reason to do the misdirection as well. So yeah. And we'll actually play the Darkscale Healer after we attack, because I will trade with the Frostwolf Warlord. So we'll do this because these are nice and easy to get rid of. I guess we will take out the 3/3, just because it's more damage.
For the Horde!
And we'll push instead of misdirecting with so much on my side of the field.
Engaging TC-130.
Oh, okay. Oh no, of all the things he could have gotten.
The light.
That was good luck for him. I had good luck in top decking the Unleash, so I suppose he has to have it sometime. Now I would like to top deck my other Unleash, that would be even better. But no such luck. So, this time we certainly will have a misdirection here. And we are going to... I think what we're going to do here is trade efficiently. So we're going to trade for the mind control tech.
Where shall I strike?
And there's not a whole lot of reasons to use the Crazed Alchemist, outside of the fact that I could save my... the only thing that would be able to kill my Darkscale here would be the Frostwolf Warlord, but I don't think he'll be interested. Either way, it saves me a minion, and it's something I can use, so I will do that. Now we're in top decking wars, but I have a significant health advantage. He is on a timer, of course, because I'm a hunter and have the Steady Shot ability. Again, Unleash the Hounds here would be wonderful. Okay. And he will misdirect. He will presumably... Oh, he's not even going to attack with it. Okay. Well, this buys me a little bit of time. He has 4 turns if I don't do any damage with minions.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Wow, would I ever like Unleash the Hounds right at the moment. Okay, so hopefully this hits the recruit, but it could hit... Yep, perfect. Nonetheless, though, we're still in somewhat bad shape here. Again, Unleash the Hounds would actually win outright for him. That's still not great. But it is something. It forces him to remove it. Otherwise, I win. He has 13 on the board, and so he could... If he had something in his hand, he could ignore it, but he's going to trade. Okay, so he now has 11 on the board. So unless I get Unleash the Hounds, I lose here.
Reporting for duty.
And we get Unleash the Hounds. So, that was a really sleazy way to win. But, you know, when you get into top deck wars, basically anything can happen. Well, alright, so I feel like I shouldn't be where I am, but I believe, where are we now? It's 5 wins to 1 loss. Not bad. Let's keep going. Alright, up against another rogue here. That's, that was the first loss was to a rogue that had 3 eviscerates, and also a Gadgetzan Auctioneer, so let's hope that this one's draft didn't go quite as well. Yeah, no, I think that's what we'll do. Crazed Alchemist can also function as a turn 2 play, even though it is not ideal. And of course we get the 2 misdirects at probably the worst time. But that's fine. We will do a turn 2 coining out the Jungle Panther. That is a pretty ideal play for this deck. Especially given that we can do the Houndmaster as well.
It's time for a little blood.
Now it's actually sort of tempting here to not do the Panther, because we can do the Panther followed by the Houndmaster if we do it on its proper turn. And so I'm actually going to change the... yeah, I don't mind changing the health around to this, because then it can trade with the Alchemist.
Give me a quest.
Questing Adventure. Alright. Another excellent rogue card. I hope we don't have a constructed level Miracle Rogue yet again. We have the backup of the Questing Adventure here if we need it, so that's good.
My shield for
Oh wow, Defender of Argas. Yeah. This rogue is... they got a good draft. We will... oh wow, that's quite the play. Okay, Explosive Shot would be really nice here if I could top deck that. Really, frankly, anything would be good. But we're going to Spellbreaker. We're going to Spellbreaker the Questing Adventure, because that's easy, and we'll trade the Panther. Although the other thing we could do is do Misdirection. Well, I say that, except that we're out of mana, so we're not going to do that. A Misdirection would have been good there, in retrospect. Assassin's Blade. So this rogue has potentially the best draft of all time. At this point, she's just going to rush my face. So we are going to put up a Misdirect if we can, given no better options. I mean, we could put out the Tundra Rhino, and we could then trade properly. So, I mean, we could bring the Spellbreaker back to the hand, but there's not a lot of reason to do that, because essentially there's no... that's our only play that turn. We can coin out Misdirection. It doesn't kill anything. So I think we're actually going to play the Tundra Rhino, and we'll trade evenly like this. We don't have a lot of life left with the Assassin's Blade out, though. This was... oh wow, and she has lethal, assumedly. Is that an Eviscerate that she has? It must be an Eviscerate. Yep, wow. So that rogue deck was completely insane, and I congratulate that person on the fact that they have no choice but to go 12 and 0. That was incredible. Alright, so this is our third mage of the evening.
You asked for it.
Let the hunt begin.
And they have not so far proven to be a problem, so here's hoping. Yep, so we'll just get rid of them, that's nice and standard. And get two very not playable cards. But we have a good opener. We have a good turn 1. And actually we have a good turn 2 and a good turn 3, so I'm not so displeased with this. Didn't look so good, but it actually does have a good curve. It has an even better curve now. I don't mind revealing the Worgen to get the damage out. She'll burn the hero power on it and not have another turn, so... or not have any mana to do anything else. It got its 2 damage in, so I'm pleased with that. We're going to use the Panther this turn. And we'll put out the Companion next turn. Reason being, the Panther is invulnerable to any of her spells that would be reasonable right now. The only instance where the Animal Companion would have been better is on the 1/3 shot that it got Huffer, I think. Misha would have been good, but again, vulnerable to spells. At this point, I'm hoping for Misha. The other thing we could do is Spellbreaker the Harvest Golem, but I don't think it's worth it. Okay, Leok is also not bad. And that's a reasonable trade for her. Well, it's a very reasonable trade. If she puts out anything that is more than one creature, we will certainly unleash the hounds. In that instance, though, I think what we're going to do is use the... probably use the Spellbreaker, and we can get through the taunt that way. Yeah, I'm feeling in a rushy mood today.
Your magic shall not save me.
Now we could, I think it actually is more appropriate to take out the damaged golem. Yeah, I think think we will do this. Next turn can be a Darkscale healer to get Leok back up where he should be if she doesn't trade. If I were her, I actually very much would trade the Sen'jin with the Leok, especially because it wouldn't be a trade.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Oh, okay, gonna trade up instead.
It's time for a little blood.
We will put down the... well... okay, so we have the explosive shot here, which is a good option. It only does... it will enrage the troll, though, which is an issue. We could put down the Darkscale healer as before, and we could wait for a better way to do explosive shot. We could just do Unleash the Hounds, which would give us a chance to do... if we hit Leok into the Berserker... oh, well, why would you? Because he would make everything into 2. So, Leok makes all the Hounds 2, and we'd go 1, 2, and then I guess we just hit her in the face with the third one. The problem with that is it's very mana inefficient. I would leave 2 on the table. I don't like it, but I think we're going to explosive shot here. Reason being, if she hits Leok with the 5-1, so be it. It's a trade anyway. And if she hits my face with it, then I can Unleash the Hounds next turn. I can Darkscale healer. 5 damage isn't going to do very much, essentially. Yep, that's fine. So we'll use the Darkscale healer here, and Unleash the Hounds is not optimal here, but it would get rid of 5 damage from the table. It would also, the other one would hit for 2 because Leok's out. And so given our options here, I actually like that. Yep, that's a reasonable choice. She's gonna fireball the Darkscale healer. Wow. Okay. Sure. So that was just a board clearing turn. We will absolutely put out Misdirection. Although if we put out the Beast, Misdirection is going to be weird, because essentially she will almost certainly suicide the Water Elemental into the Beast and freeze him. I don't have a Silence handy, so I can't get rid of that easily. The only other option would be to go Misdirection, Steady Shot, Razorfen, which I suppose is not a terrible option. She would get the boar with the hero power, and probably she would use the Water Elemental. You know, we're going to go for the Beast. There is still a chance she'll hit me in the face, although I think she's in very serious control mode at this point. I'm going to fireball the Beast and finish it off with the Water Elemental, I would imagine. No, the hero power, of course. And she'll get the 3-3. She was lucky enough to get many drafts. Now here's hoping that she hits the... oh no, she'll hit herself. That's still okay. Leaves a good deal of damage on her side of the board. But that's alright. So I think we're actually going to put... now, we could put the Razorfen out and then bring her back, and Steady Shot, and we'll have a 1-1 boar, but I don't value a 1-1 boar enough.
I'll put it on your head.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Job done.
So this would be good Flame Strike territory for her. Yep, yep. This is also a mage that got a pretty okay draft. 2 fireballs and a Flame Strike so far.
Pass me that Arclight Spanner.
Okay, so we have Unleashed the Hounds. Now, we have a couple of things we could do here. We could, so we're certainly going to do the hero power. If we put down the Scavenging Hyena and the Unleash the Hounds, we then do exactly 2 damage to her, or we lose them both and we get a 6-4. Neither of those options are worth it right now. She will almost inevitably load up the board some more, and if she loads it up enough, then we'll actually be able to do something with that. If she doesn't trade with the Gnomish Inventor, and she puts down Malagos, she drafted Malagos. Okay, if she doesn't kill, okay, she did kill, that's fine. So that's good though, that's still good. We have a Taunt and Unleash the Hounds and Scavenging Hyena, so all of that is very strong. We'll do all of that. but I still can't believe she got Bloody Malagos. And the unfortunate part here is that, well actually, you know what? Hang on. Can she kill me next turn? She has to get through my taunt. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage on the board, plus 12. Anything she has in her hand, like a fireball, will hit for another 5, so she very much could have lethal next turn. If I burn... because the thing is, if she can't kill me next turn, if she can't take out 20 damage, then I win, because I can hit her for with these 4 and use my hero power. I could also take out 2 of these and be safer about it. I think we're going to play it safe. Especially because now she has to deal with the 8-5 as well. If I didn't have the hyena, I may have gone for her face there. Oh wow, so the 6 damage arcane explosion. So I should have absolutely gone for her face. Fireballs me for 11. And then she has... Okay, so I have 2 health. Hero power takes me down to 1. If she has any other spells, I'm done. Water limit. Yep. Well, that's funny. This is the first time we've seen this card in the entire draft, and it is also the time in which it is absolutely and completely useless, which I have to say is most of the time with that particular card. So, what I really should have done last turn is actually attacked with all 4 hounds and I would have won this. So, that was a bad decision. Oh well. So, that's on the low end of how this deck could have done. 5 wins is not terrible in Arena. Certainly. I think a lot of people don't make it there, but it's not as ideal as we want. Really ideal with Arena is 7, because 7 is self-replicating as far as gold is concerned. But nonetheless, I'm not displeased. Let's see what we get from this. We get Shadow Step. It's like they know what I've been doing lately with Constructed. And some gold. So let's see what the pack is. So just the 1 rare, otherwise it's unexciting. Yeah, not especially great. Anyway, so that was that. Not a bad run, weird deck, and some fun anyway. So, thanks so much for watching, and if you liked it, like and subscribe, I would appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.